So listen, I thank you so much for your time here. Is there anything else that you want to mention, discuss, maybe something that I missed, something that's burning on your heart that, whatever?
Yeah, we've covered a lot. I mean, I'm short, but I'm on my soapbox. Because when I get going, because there's so much that is wrong, not with just the courts, our schools,
Right.
Anything that has to do with children, it is so broken because it's either convenient or someone gets paid for it.
Yeah.
But within our family courts, and it's not an exaggeration, it is child abuse.
Right. Absolutely it is.
If you are contemplating filing for divorce, and you have a child, never say you weren't told. You will do more damage to that child by having them experience a divorce than you would by having a parent die.
Yeah.
There's research that shows children recover from a dead parent quicker and in a healthier fashion than they do from a divorce.
Right. And then as you were saying that the effects of divorce are transgenerational.
They're transgenerational.
I think that people should say, if you want your divorce, you better realize it's not only affecting your kids, you may screw up your grandkids.
Oh, yeah. Because until someone steps up and breaks that cycle, and one of the sad things to me and my wife, we were both Christian at the time. I'm not real so sure about it anymore. But we both came from product of divorce. My parents divorced when I was 2. I got to see him till I was 4, and then I didn't see him again until I was 14. I was absolutely given to the wrong parent. Sorry, Mom, but you know it. I've had this discussion with you. Had I been raised by my father, I would have experienced a lot of the difficulties I've had in my life. I know that for a fact. My wife's parents didn't divorce until she went off to college in Lubbock. Mm-hmm. Yet she was, 18, 19?
Right.
When they divorced and she found out, she had a mental breakdown and had to drop out of school.
That is a big lie that people try to say to ease their own conscience about children being resilient. Or once they're 18, they'll be able to handle it better. Children are not as resilient as everybody think. They're broken and they're silenced. They're silenced into submission.
Yeah, the only way a child would never know is if you got divorced before the age of 6 months. They weren't able to establish that bond.
Yeah.
But even if you raise that child as a single parent, great, good for you, they're still going to miss out on the other parent. Two can always do more than one, and God designed marriage and family in a very specific way.
Right.
And when someone was a widow, what did he tell us to do? To wrap around and to step in and to fill those roles, not just with food and how and take care, but to and I used to hate it when Hillary Clinton would say, "Oh, it takes a village," because their concept of village is mine is completely different.
Yeah.
But no, because we know that the children need that input.
Right.
If you are a single mother and you divorced, know what you did. But if your husband died, he got killed or whatever it is, bring a man in, because you cannot teach, especially a boy, how to be a man. You cannot fill the father role. Women can do everything. No, they can't. I cannot do everything a woman can. I cannot have birth. Right. I cannot, produce milk. I don't have a monthly, so no, we can't do it. We were designed differently for a reason. I'm not saying one's better than the other, because having a baby is an amazing ability. Right. And I can't do it.
Right.
But we contribute 2 different things to the development of a child, and they need both those input. And that's one of the reasons we're talking about some of the ethnic groups that perform so much better, because they have that transgenerational thing in their house. Mm-hmm. So they've got dad and grandpa in the house. Right. They've got 2 of those figures in the house. They've got mom and grandma, and sometimes the aunt and uncle. So they have multiple layers of those things that children need, because children don't learn at school. Right. They don't learn out in the world. They learn from their parents. Everything else is ancillary. So if my kid, it may not be my fault depending how my case turns out, but if my kid's 25 years old, shoots up a post office and blows up a building, it's probably my fault. It probably would directly relate to how I raised him. I get a little reprieve now because of what he's going through, and it's not my fault. I didn't choose this path. But it affects us across the lifespan. Yeah. And then we do that to our kids because that's how we were raised, so that's what's normal to me. Yeah. And then I do the same damage to that child, and it goes on and on and on until someone gets lucky enough to break that cycle.
Yeah. And what I wonder sometimes is how some of these judges, attorneys, sleep at night. Because what you're saying, Well, the only problem is they are causing the damage, and they are creating damaged kids, and they're creating criminals and everything else. I mean, they are a big factor in that, in some of these instances. And yet, because it happens here, but you don't see the effect till here, they can live their life in their own little bubble area. So, I mean, because what you're saying is a child, what he experiences now is going to manifest itself in 10, 15, it will manifest itself now, but it may manifest itself a lot worse 10, 15 years as they grow older.
Yeah, so again, divorce is more devastating than the death of a parent.
Yeah.
And so if any of us can think about a parent dying, for adults, devastates some adults. So now imagine a child who's not fully developed, and now their whole world. So divorce, that child's entire world has been destroyed.
Right.
You know, and again, people are going to say, well, what about abuse? Well, no, in abusive situations, get out, call the police, have that person arrested.
Right.
You know, absolutely. But if you're divorcing because I'm not happy, well, you know, the Bible didn't tell me I was going to be happy. Nowhere in there does it say you're going to be happy. It actually says you're going to be persecuted, hated, and abused for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know where people get that. Or patience of Job. Job wasn't patient.
Yeah.
He got angry, and he talked some smack to God. God talked some smack to him, but he wasn't patient. Right. He was furious.
Yeah.
So, but if I file for divorce, I am destroying the world of my child.
Yeah.
Might he adapt and overcome? Yeah. So let's say whatever he gets this high in life, and that's great. But I kept him from getting this high.
Yeah.
And if he was only going to get this high, I might have put him here, and I visit him in prison, or he beats his wife, or he's in the homeless shelter, or on the streets.
Yeah.
You know, and if it's a daughter, we know where they end up going. They're going to go to strip clubs, to prostitution, and to men who abuse them.
Right.
So I look at my little girl and say, yeah, I want to see you on a stripper pole. Hey, honey, I'm going to divorce you. Or I look at my son and say, yeah, I want to see you hooked on drugs and in prison. I'm going to divorce you. And people don't think that way because it's all about them.
Right.
And they're fine. They don't remember. They absolutely remember. It damages them now, and it lasts a lifetime because that stress and anxiety never goes away. And it's meant to turn off, but it doesn't turn off for these kids. Right. And it goes on and on. So anyone who is honest with themselves that their parents got divorced at a young age, if you look back on your life and really assess your ability to have a true, open, intimate relationship with a person, you will almost always find that there's an issue. There's a block.
Right.
Because that was destroyed in you as a child, because those people that you were supposed to have that with, one of them destroyed it. And while you might be married and you might be happily married and you might experience stuff, you know it's not open. There's that thing. And for people who are very self-aware, they work like hell to open it. But most people don't even know it's closed because that's just what they know.
Right.
And then when they raise their child, they don't give them that open, safe, nurturing thing because they don't know how. They never got it. I can't do something I was never taught, so they can't teach it to their kid. So now that child is going to grow up and have that same block because we pass it to our children. My son, once we get through this, if he's with me, will grow up to be me, but hopefully better because I'm aware and I'm trying to change that. Right. If I'm not aware, he'll grow up to be me and might go either way. He could be a lot worse and he could be a lot better by chance. But my son will be me when he grows up in some fashion. I'm just trying to promote that healthy thing so he does much better in life than I did across the board.
Right.
But if I file for divorce and I don't have an amazing reason, I've just doomed my kid to never achieving to what they could have.
Right. Right. Wow. Powerful words. Well, Brooks, thank you so much for getting together with me. And wow, that was tremendous. You may have some people calling you. Who knows?
Hey, you know, anybody can contact me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't always have the answers. And if you don't, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
You know.
But it was very enlightening to hear about your work here, your work within the courts, within all over the state of Texas. I want to thank you for it. Thank you for sharing everything that you did. All the best to you as you go forward, because I know you're dealing with it right now too. And thank you for the words of encouragement and for speaking such truth to people that may be thinking, oh, it's all about me. No, it's not all about you. It's if your kids, it may be all about you in your mind, but you're going to be damaging your kids. And I want to thank you for being very honest about that and not whitewashing it somehow.
You know, one of the things I do when I teach university courses, I often teach the either, it's lifespan development, human development, child, whatever they want to call it at a particular university. And a lot of people have to take that course. It's not their major, so they're sitting in here.
Yeah.
Why do I need to be here, blah, 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 and all that kind of. And I will tell them flat out. I said, do not raise your hand. If you were a product of divorce, think about what it did to you. And most of us, and then I'll start going through those things. And you can almost pick the ones out who've experienced it.
Right.
You will see them tense up, and you will see a physiological reaction in them. And then I will tell them that many of you think you're going to be amazing. You're going to business school and you're going to cheat everybody out of your money. Just kidding, but not really. And you're going to go into law, God forbid, go into contract law or something. But you're going to make this. But the most important thing most of you will ever do in your life, unless you cure cancer, is have a child. And it's the most responsibility, and it's the most important thing you will ever do. And if you don't get that right, you will screw up hundreds, if not thousands, of people in your generation after you.
Wow.
And usually they'll all sit up and look at me like, oh, yeah, having a baby. It's not a puppy dog. It's not going to change your life, make you happy.
Right.
It is a responsibility. And if you cannot put their needs in front of yours, go get a vasectomy, go get your toes tied.
Yeah.
Do not have a child, because you will do nothing but damage them, and that damage will be self-perpetuating until God intervenes.
Right. Well, once again, thank you very much. Great talking with you.